Okay, welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch the video. I really appreciate the support. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and discuss. So before we dive into it, do me a big favor. If you do enjoy these videos or if you find it informative, be sure to leave it a like. It really helps it out. And make sure you hit the subscribe button as well if you are new here to the channel. The first topic we're diving into has to do with a release date leak for Ghostwire Tokyo. And for anybody who may be looking forward to this game, I think you're going to be happy about this because it seems as though it's coming out much sooner than maybe some of us were expecting. So reading from PlayStation Universe, they say Ghostwire Tokyo now has a release date after it was spotted on the PlayStation Store as releasing on March 24th, 2022. It should be noted that neither developer Tango Gameworks nor publisher Bethesda have confirmed this release date yet, but it would make sense as it was expected to be releasing in 2022. There's also the fact that it was recently rated in Korea and that the release window was previously specified as being spring 2022. So while it remains unconfirmed, it appears that this is very likely the release date that we're going to be getting. And so I'm not so much focused on the release date of Ghostwire Tokyo because I do think that this makes sense. It releasing at the end of March seems like the perfect time for it to release. Sony has Gran Turismo 7 releasing at the very beginning of March, and so having this title release at the very end of March, I think there's more than enough room there, also considering they're very different games. And if this is true and Ghostwire Tokyo is launching at the end of March, then it really just does show, assuming that nothing else gets delayed, that the first half of 2022 is pretty stacked when it comes to PlayStation titles and PlayStation releases. But something else that I want to note with this is, if this is true, which again, it seems likely it is, you have to wonder how Sony was planning to announce this release date. And some people were looking at this leak and thinking, well, maybe this, kind of adds more fuel to the fire that they're doing some kind of an event or maybe a bigger state of play of some kind. Again, this is what we've been hearing. As of right now, it seems like Sony is set to do something during the first week of February, but they're also apparently set to do something in March. So maybe this does lend some credence to that. Let me know if you're planning to play Ghostwire Tokyo. The next topic focuses on the newly formed AAA studio Deviation Games that is being led by Call of Duty veteran developers. We have some more information about what type of game they may be working on. So again, reading from PlayStation Universe, Deviation Games, the California-based team who previously worked on the Call of Duty franchise, has posted up a job opening for a senior game designer that suggests the company is working on a new AAA story-driven RPG. The post reads as follows: "We are looking for a skilled senior game designer who's written and scripted quest and mission content in AAA single-player or multiplayer RPGs/action/story games. Ideally, someone who has worked in games for several years, executed on early-stage rapid development, and worked on co-op multiplayer games." That's about all there is to go on right now, but we already knew that the team was partnering with Sony on a brand new IP, so this is most probably the title in question. Earlier this year, it was also confirmed that the team would be moving ahead into full production for the unannounced project. And I think now more than ever, PlayStation fans are interested in whatever this title may be after the news of Call of Duty potentially, in the future, no longer releasing on PlayStation. We kind of wondered why Sony seemed so aggressive to kind of partner with these development teams, specifically Deviation Games. As I mentioned, they are former Call of Duty developers. Jason Blundell is one of the most prominent developers coming from Treyarch, and people are thinking, maybe this is Sony's attempt to try to maybe get their own Call of Duty to an extent. Although it sounds like this isn't necessarily going to be Call of Duty, but just, the next big shooter, the next big game. Sony is putting a lot of faith in these senior veteran development teams, and I think most of us are very interested. So as of right now, it sounds like it's going to be a AAA story-driven RPG, and I think for a lot of PlayStation fans, that sounds certainly appealing. So we'll have to wait till we get more information on this. But moving to the next topic, I'm only going to talk about this briefly. I do find it pretty funny though, because I can understand where people are coming from, but I kind of want to also calm some people down. The official PlayStation Japan Twitter account tweeted, Kenshi Yonezu appeared in a new commercial for PlayStation. 1, 2, and 3 are the watchwords for PlayStation, launched on January 23rd. And some people were also focusing on this little video clip where they're using the classic colors for the PlayStation symbols, which PlayStation doesn't seem to do all that often anymore. And so what people are thinking is that this is the official PlayStation Japan Twitter account teasing some type of potential backwards compatibility announcement. And I have to say, I do understand why people think this. It's funny that they're putting such a big emphasis on 1, 2, and 3 at this given time, because there's all these rumors about Sony doing more with backwards compatibility, PS3 games randomly appearing on the PlayStation 5 store, even though it's a glitch. Still, people were like looking at this and are like, how is all of this happening at one time? And so again, I can understand where people are coming from, but I just want to say, I do not think this is anything at all. You know, this is for a Japanese musician that they partnered with. And I will say, at most, if there is something going on internally at Sony with backwards compatibility, this could certainly be like a little tease, a little nudge in that direction, but I would not expect to hear anything about this, you know, coming from this Japanese musician, or specifically the PlayStation Japan account. I just want to make that clear. But again, I just wanted to take a moment to cover that because I saw quite a few people kind of mentioning it and, you know, asking my thoughts on it. So, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but I think it's a bit of a reach. Moving on to the next topic, though, this is one that I think many of you are going to be interested in. We have Phil Spencer commenting on Sony's rumored Project Spartacus service. So reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, says Xbox head Phil Spencer has commented on recent rumors of the Sony alternative to Microsoft's Game Pass, stating that he thinks it's the right move for the company. Spencer also added that he believes subscription services like Game Pass are an inevitability, and that companies should release games on all platforms and services, including PC, on day one. So Phil Spencer had quite a lot to say about the current state of the video game industry, as well as Microsoft's current standing. Speaking with IGN, Spencer reiterated the company's continued initiative to provide players the choice to play games on whichever platform they want. To Sony's rumored new subscription model, Phil Spencer states that it makes sense to him that other companies are looking to emulate the Xbox Game Pass rather than seeing it as validation. Spencer states that he sees it as an inevitability. Spencer adds that initiatives like Game Pass also intertwine with other offerings like backwards compatibility, as well as shipping games to both PC and consoles simultaneously. In fact, Spencer expects Sony to do the same. Quote, "I think the right answer is to ship great games, ship them on PC, ship them on console, ship them on cloud, make them available day one in the subscription, and I expect that's what our competitor will do," unquote. So some pretty interesting quotes here from Phil Spencer. Pretty much he's saying that, yeah, it makes sense that Sony's going to make a service that, as of right now, a lot of people believe it's going to compete with Game Pass, but I am not convinced of that. We're going to have to see that officially announced first and get all the details, because based off of what we know now, I don't think it's going to be a Game Pass competitor. I think it's going to try to take some of the shine and spotlight off of Game Pass, but I don't think it's going to compete with it directly. But Phil Spencer believes that is exactly what Sony's doing, and he actually goes as far to say that he believes Sony will end up doing day and date. And, you know, I think it makes sense why he would say this. I mean, as of right now, there's no indication that Sony is going to do this. There's also no indication that they plan to do this anytime soon, but this is what Microsoft does, and so of course this is what Phil Spencer's going to say, to just apply a little bit of extra pressure to Sony and make himself seem, you know, like the good guy, where it's like, hey, we're going to put all our games, I mean, that's what they're doing, right? So I understand why he's saying this, but I don't necessarily agree with him when it comes to the idea of Sony doing day and date. I'm not saying 100% they're never going to do it. I'm just simply saying that based off of everything we're seeing right now, I don't see Sony doing it anytime soon. It just goes so against their current business model. It would be shocking, I think, for everybody if Sony were to announce that. But, you know, that's what Phil Spencer's saying. So we'll have to see if he ends up being correct or not. But I wanted to be sure to relay this to you guys so you can let me know what you think about Phil Spencer's comments. Moving on to the next topic, I want to clarify something here, and Sony is also clarifying something. They have denied increasing PlayStation 4 production to offset PS5 supply issues. Sony Interactive Entertainment has denied that it has increased production of the PS4 to offset ongoing supply issues for the PS5. Not only that, but the hardware manufacturer has denied reports that initially planned to cease PS4 production late last year. In case you missed it earlier this week, it was claimed that Sony had ramped up manufacturing of the PS4 as means to combating PS5 supply issues. Speaking with NLab, the hardware giant said that any further production and sales of the console were planned in parallel with the PS5's introduction. Furthermore, it observed that its release schedule of PS4 and PS5 is in line with the introduction of previous hardware. So yeah, I wanted to be sure to clarify this because this was something that seemed to frustrate a lot of PlayStation fans, specifically those who have been following this stuff for a long time. They basically came out and pushed back against this notion and this narrative that was being written by the internet that, uh-oh, look at this, Sony is in panic mode and they're producing more PS4s out of desperation to offset PS5. And when you think about it, where this originated from, it was from, you know, quote unquote sources. And if I'm not mistaken, it came from Bloomberg initially. And this is just where it gets tiring, right? Like, it gets tiring to just constantly hear like, oh, Sony's doing this and that's bad news. And oh, this is happening within Sony and it's bad news. And, you know, at this point, Sony just is like, no, that's not it at all. Like, we're not going to let you just write this negative narrative that's just not true, and basically just coming out and saying we were literally already planning on doing this and this is in line with, you know, everything we had already planned. And so it's I'm glad that Sony's doing this, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I think they should do this more often. It would be really nice. I think there are outlets that take advantage of Sony being quiet and not really speaking as much. And, you know, it would be nice if Sony could come out here more often and just kind of clarify the stuff to just shut it up, right? Because it gets old and it gets tired, and frankly, it just gets annoying because it's BS, man, you know, and nobody wants to keep seeing that kind of circulate. So there you go, Sony's shutting it down. But the final topic I have for you guys is in regards to Horizon Forbidden West. Reading from PlayStation Lifestyle, Guerrilla Games has said that unlike a lot of modern role-playing games, Horizon Forbidden West will have a single ending, but it will be very strong and impactful. Narrative director Benjamin McCall told Italian website Every Eye, as translated by WCCF Tech, that during the course of the game, there will be moments where players have to make very strong moral choices, but all the paths lead to the same end. And so I just wanted to let you guys know about this. They're not letting you know anything about the ending of Horizon Forbidden West other than there just is a single ending. And honestly, that was what I was expecting, but it's nice to have that confirmation because it is true that a lot of role-playing games do offer multiple endings. And, you know, some people do like that, but some people also prefer just a single ending. I prefer to just have a single ending. It's like less stressful for me that way, I guess. But there you go. If you were wondering with Horizon Forbidden West, they're confirming it. And, you know, they're saying it's going to be strong and impactful. So I have no doubt about that. But that does it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Again, leave it a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon. And feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.